Okay, rolling.
Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived three little pigs named Xavier, Galen, and Clark. The three little pigs were ready to begin their journey to college, but there was one problem. They couldn't afford a dorm room. So before they began their travels, the three little pigs resolved to build their homes.
Don't forget to build your houses before the weather gets bad,
Shrieked Mama Pig as the three little pigs hurried out the door. Some days passed, and the three little pigs continued to procrastinate on building their homes.
Build your houses. You know how unpredictable the weather is out there.
But Mom,
Squealed Clark, the youngest of the three.
we still have a month of summer left.
But still, you remember your poor father. He never paid attention to the weather. Before he knew it, the big bad storm was after him, puffing and blowing his house down. All that was left of him, I can hardly say it, was a pile of sausage links. You never know what big bad storm can do out there.
Come on, Mom. We've got like a month left. Jeez, just chill.
Muttered Galen, the middle child, in an air of rebellion.
Don't you dare use that tone against me, Galen.
Mama's right.
Xavier, the eldest of the brothers, remarked gruffly.
We should listen to her. I'm going to start building my house tomorrow.
That's my favorite boy.
Mama Pig said, beaming with pride as Galen and Clark rolled their eyes.
Get your brothers to do the same.
The next afternoon, Xavier shut himself in the hub and began planning the layout for his home. Of course, Galen and Clark resisted their mother's warnings and spent their time chasing women, Instagramming their experiences, and streaming Facebook.
Look, Galen, Wayne's in a relationship with Raven. It's like the third girl this week.
Exclaimed Clark while going through his newsfeed.
Lex posted his pictures from the party.
Galen said, liking the picture.
Come here, Xavier. Come see the pictures.
Can't you see I'm drawing a layout for my house? The measurements for this of the house are the parameters for its success. I have to make them perfect, otherwise it won't stand a chance. Anyways, I don't have time for all your nonsense. Why don't you stop wasting your time and start working on your house before the erratic weather comes around?
Nah, man. We have time.
Weeks passed, and Galen and Clark were still deeply engrossed in watching YouTube videos of the VMAs, going to parties, and tweeting. In the land far, far away where they lived, however, the weather was known to be extremely temperamental, having the ability to defy weather forecasts and cast a grim shadow of doubt on every passerby who stares up at the sky. Legend had it that the skies on these college grounds were controlled by a celestial force named Magneto, who had the ability to change weather in a matter of seconds, from rain to hail to snow to sun to sleet to fog. But it was still summer, so Galen and Clark rid themselves of any stress and continued with their leisure activities. Meanwhile, Xavier diligently began building his home brick by brick. Glancing over to Galen and Clark, Xavier sighed and shook his head in dismay.
They'll be screwed.
The next afternoon was a quaint summer day with delightfully optimistic weather reports. As Galen and Clark embarked to go to the creamery, they felt a gust of wind blow from the east. Galen shivered and nudged Clark.
Dude, maybe we should get started building our houses. It's pretty cold.
Craving some peachy paternal ice cream, Clark replied.
You go ahead. I'm going to get my ice cream.
So Galen began the trek south when he eventually entered the Planets and met Gary the storekeeper.
Hello, Galen. Can I help you with anything? I hear the weather's going to be an unpredictable one this year. News is that Magneto's going to be pretty vicious this time around.
Galen rolled his eyes.
Oh, that's what they say every year. It's never that bad.
Well, you better start preparing, son. Look what happened to your poor father.
All right, Gary. Sounds just like my mother.
Walking down the aisle, Galen spotted a pile of wooden sticks.
Ah, just the thing to build my house with.
Grabbing a few dozen sticks, Galen went to the front to take.
Ah, building your house, I see. Are you sure these sticks will be sturdy enough? How about using some bricks like your brother? You should get them while they're still in stock.
Nah, bricks take too much effort. I like sticks. Besides, I don't get what the fuss is all about. The weather is never that bad.
Okay, well, I'm just letting you know.
The cashier said with a smile as Galen left the store.
And today we'll have a high and mighty at 1276. Perfect weather for any of your summertime activities.
Clark heard on the TV as Gabe been telling cookies. He stepped outside the hub when he was struck by a heavy gust of chilling wind. Clark started to get worried.
Maybe this could be a bad one.
He thought to himself as he sprinted to McLannan's as fast as his stubby pig legs could carry him.
So what's on sale, Gary?
Clark heaved as he walked in.
Well, we're sold out of wood, bricks, sticks, and Nutella. But we do have a pile of hay.
With limited time and depleted options, Clark purchased the hay, reassuring himself that nothing would actually happen. Since a hay house was easy to build, it gave Clark plenty of time to watch another season of Big Bang Theory before starting construction. He smiled and said to himself,
This shouldn't take more than a couple of hours.
In the meantime, Xavier finished building his sturdy brick house, complete with a lovely fireplace to keep him warm from the turbulent weather and blistering winds. While Xavier sat by his fireplace watching How I Met Your Mother, Galen worked ruthlessly to finish his home.
This is tougher than I imagined.
Thought Galen as he delicately placed one stick on top of the other.
But once I'm done, this will be impenetrable.
With the weather becoming extremely erratic, Galen finally finished his stick house and sat inside. Checking his Twitter feed, Galen read all the tweets from the past hour, amused by how many
Hashtag college weather problems. Hashtag no umbrella in the rain. Hashtag too hot for a jacket, too cold for a cardigan.
problems his friends were facing. Turning off his phone, Galen lay down to take a much-needed nap, thinking,
Once I wake up, this thing will blow over and we'll have actual summer weather again.
little did Galen know from above, Magneto was stealthily watching, enraged by his nonchalance.
Just wait and see. In a few days I'll have them below his measly house down.
3 days passed, and Clark could certainly feel an atmosphere suggestive of Magneto's wrath. Despite it being summer, trees swayed from side to side. The lights flickered ominously. The skies cast a dark glow. It became unbearably cold. Feeling the rush for time, Clark hastily clumped his hay together and stacked the tied bundles on top of another.
It won't matter. This storm should be a small one anyways.
Clark assured himself. As night fell, quilted black clouds blanketed the skies, and the city felt empty.
that night, the three little pigs were settled in their homes. Xavier in his house made of bricks, Galen in his house made of sticks, and Clark in his house made of hay. Clark was playing Xbox, oblivious to the roaring winds outside his home. Suddenly, the lights began to flicker. The furnace made vicious sounds, and an eerie silence engulfed the home.
This is getting kind of creepy. I should call Galen and see how he's doing.
Before he could do anything, a large tree slammed into the wall, and the lights shut off. Everything was pitch dark. Groping around for a flashlight, Clark stumbled over the wires, books, and clothes that were scattered messily all over the floor. Opening his bedside drawer, Clark pulled out his flashlight and pressed the button, only to realize that the battery was out.
Damn it! I forgot to buy more batteries.
Cried Clark in the dark. The winds were getting even stronger in what was supposed to be summertime, and he was scared. Suddenly, he heard a knock on the door.
Little pig, let me in.
Who's there?
It's me, Magneto.
I'm not scared.
Said Clark, squeezing himself into a ball.
Oh yeah? Well, I am going to huff and puff and blow your house down.
A gust of wind rammed into the house, and the walls of hay came crashing down. When Clark peeked out from under his hand, he saw nothing but little pieces of hay scattered around him. He yelped, jumped, and started running as fast as his stubby big legs could carry him. up the road to Galen's house. Galen was just playing solitaire when he heard Clark calling from outside.
Galen! Galen, help!
Panting, Clark cried out.
It's Magneto, he's coming after me!
Burying himself in Galen's arms, he cried.
Galen, I don't want to end up like a pile of sausage links.
It's okay, you're safe here. Magneto can't do anything to us.
Sure I can.
A voice called from just outside the door. All the blood drained from Galen's face.
Well, aren't you going to let me in?
No!
Well then, I'm going to huff and puff and blow your house down.
The wind picked up, slamming against the walls. The ceiling creaked and the roof flew off the house.
Galen and Clark hugged each other. Soon the house was nothing but a pile of sticks.
Quick, to Xavier's!
Down the road they went, running as fast as their stubby pig legs could carry them. Comfortable in his home, Xavier was stretched out on his chair and reading Charlotte's Web. He was on the 3rd chapter when he heard Galen and Clark yelling.
Xavier, Xavier, hurry!
Get us in before Magneto gets us.
Oh God, I knew this was gonna happen.
Getting up, he walked over and let his brothers in.
Magneto blew our houses down.
He's coming to get us.
Well, that's what you get for procrastinating.
Rebuked Xavier, infuriated by his brother's stupidity.
Little pigs, little pigs.
Magneto called from outside the window. Galen and Clark crouched beneath Xavier's bed, their faces pale and trembling with fear.
Open up, pork chops. I'm gonna come get you.
The 3 little pigs lost all feeling in their squiggly tails and carefully retreated into a corner. Magneto huffed, and he puffed, and flew with all his might. The air slammed into the walls, and yet nothing happened. The house stood sturdy and strong.
This time, little tip.
He huffed, and he puffed, but the house did not budge. With this, Magneto left the premises furiously, destroying everything in his path. The 3 little pigs jumped for joy. This time, Galen and Clark would be diligent, preparing for everything well in advance.
No more hay and sticks, guys.
Smiled Xavier, and the 3 little pigs lived happily ever after.
And Red